Guardians, 2 years ago we spoke of the event in 2030 and how the looking glass device would not show us what was to come. Now that we have obtained another piece of technology, which we call the divine wheel, the negative forces are very concerned about the information we are being given. We are now able to see into the future with great accuracy up until the year 2030. We can also see the afterlife destiny of the souls living within the earthly plane after they pass on. Once we reach 2030, we cannot see past that year using the device, but we can now see partially the event that occurs that year. We had not been able to see it up until very recently. This has been a major breakthrough for our group. Once we combined and began using the divine wheel together with the looking glass device, portions of the 2030 event have now come into view. We can see what we would describe as a singular cataclysm unlike any other, involving multiple events occurring at once and being manipulated for a negative outcome. It appears our moon plays a role in this. It also appears some kind of cosmic event takes place. The negative forces are also aware this event is coming, and in 2030, they use a type of satellite technology to intensify the event. We can see that during the event, the negative forces are protected by something. They go unharmed, while those of us whose souls are pure in spirit and good in nature suffer horrific consequences. The looking glass device shows that in 2030, that many of us develop strange skin lesions. They are large white blisters. They begin to appear on millions upon millions of people. This creates a panic worldwide. Many are scared and fearful as the cause of the blisters is unknown and there is no cure or remedy. At first, the blisters are small in size. They are white, but they do not hurt. After the first week, they begin to grow, then they begin to bleed. The blisters eventually grow over a period of a few weeks, and they begin to bleed more and more profusely. Steps are taken to cover them up with bandages, but they do not stop bleeding. Since eventually, the entire body is covered with these blisters, no amount of bandages or gauze can stop the bleeding. In the final stages, bleeding occurs out of every orifice of the body, most notably through the eyes. The blisters are extremely painful. We can see that the world scrambles to supply pain relief to billions, and this quickly runs out. We can see many people, even millions of people, attempt suicide during this time due to the pain of the blisters. Death occurs in most within 2 to 3 months after the blisters begin to appear. Billions of people die, but not all die at the same time. We can see some pass within a few months, while millions of others live for 6 to 8 more months. The world economy quickly breaks down. All commerce eventually ceases. There are food riots and crime is out of control. Due to the pain of the blisters and the fact virtually every person is affected, most cannot work and do not continue to work. This leads to total social breakdown within 3 to 4 weeks. We can also see that the negative forces are not impacted at all, and they never develop any blisters on their skin. It appears the negative forces prepared for this well in advance, having taken some kind of medicine to assist in preventing the blisters. They are also financially prepared as well, having spent the prior 5 years hoarding a new type of currency. Some of the negative forces wear makeup to appear as though they also have the blisters on their skin, particularly those appearing on television, such as politicians. We can see the negative forces do not want the world to know they are not impacted by the skin lesions. We can see the negative forces are provided safe areas and safe zones, while the rest of the world unravels into chaos. The looking glass device also shows us that some kind of implosion occurs on the moon in 2030. We can see that a large mining operation that has been ongoing for decades on the moon experiences an accident, leading to a catastrophic series of collapses internally. There is a much more important consequence of this event that goes unseen by humanity at large. Due to the collapse of the mining operation, the internal structure of the moon suffers extensive damage. There are many operations within the moon itself, unbeknownst to mankind. The moon serves an important role for the negative forces to ensure mankind remains enslaved and compliant. The moon itself, in fact, is not a natural object, but instead it is partially manufactured and was moved into place and into orbit thousands of years ago artificially. We can see at this critical time, due to the mining collapse on the moon, humanity has an opportunity to free itself. We can see that the mining collapse causes a massive disruption to the Earth's magnetic field. It appears the moon is projecting a powerful energy onto the Earth, a type of energetic grid that surrounds the Earth, and the mining collapse causes this to cease. Momentarily, a radiation spike occurs worldwide for a few weeks. This spike is not serious or life-threatening, but we can see through the looking glass device that the negative forces have put in place satellites to intensify it and direct its energy down to Earth. It appears this energy spike, which is intensified artificially by these satellites, leads to the skin lesions worldwide. This takes place over a few days' time, and it is not noticeable by most people at first. Some will have immediate effects, but most will not notice it. Soon thereafter, the skin lesions and blisters appear. No one will understand where they came from, and many will believe it is a disease, a virus, or bacteria. We can see it is from a cosmic event, and also tied to the technology of the negative forces through satellites placed in orbit above us. The looking glass device shows this outcome is inevitable. We ran through every possible permutation, every possible outcome, and there is no other outcome than the one described. This is because the negative forces already control Earth, and nothing is done to stop them up to the year 2030. Despite this, we can see that there are ways for some of us to prepare. We can see that due to our videos and our work now, this has a positive effect in 2030. Some of our guardians who are watching now will take certain specific steps to be prepared for 2030, and they will survive the event, and they will not be harmed by the radiation. But not all will survive. Other guardians will perish, but they will be prepared for what comes in the afterlife due to the divine wheel. The divine wheel will be used by our group to guide them. We were shown through the looking glass device we must do certain things, and we must release our videos at certain times to have the best chance of surviving the 2030 event. If we disrupt the timeline in any way that is improper or not carefully planned, the negative forces will take advantage of that. Much of what we have described is much more complex than can be conveyed in a short video. In the coming months and years, we will provide much more detail, including ways you can contact us and be a part of our group. You must be ready for that. We ask now that you take action. Please turn on notifications for our videos, subscribe to our channels, and spread the word. The future rests in your hands and the actions you take in this moment. Know, too, that the negative forces are aware of us, and we will be attacked. Understand that you will be manipulated to deny us, deny this information, and even work against us. Please resist the negative forces with all of your might. On a final note, we will be adding small audio codes to each video we produce, including this one, that will communicate special information to certain gifted guardians. You will not need to decode this, as your soul will already interpret these codes for you, simply by listening. There are very important individuals who will watch these videos, and we will need your assistance in the coming years, and you will be welcomed into our group in the future. Please be ready and prepared. Our links, also found in the description. Coming soon, email, website, and weekly videos.